why alligator lives in water. Once upon a time, Anansi and the big alligator were good friends. One night, when Anansi was out late, he went to the alligator and said, "Dear brother, it's quite late. Will you please let me sleep here tonight?" "No problem. You can stay here for the night," the alligator said politely. Anansi said to the alligator, "Thank you very much for letting me stay, but I don't want to bother you much, so I will make myself comfortable in your kitchen, and you can sleep comfortably in the house." During those times, there were usually a kitchen built of stone outside every house. Anansi wanted to stay in the kitchen for the night.
This man has no idea the plans I have for his kitchen. It's going to be a good night.
"All right, Anansi. If you insist, you can sleep in my kitchen." The alligator's daughter Amma was a wise girl. She knew that Anansi definitely had some motive behind sleeping in the kitchen. She overheard the conversation between Anansi and her father. Amma had an idea. She went out and caught as many scorpions as she could. She knew that at night, Anansi would definitely look into the kitchen pot for some food. So, she carefully placed the scorpions into the empty pots. The alligator and Anansi both wished each other good night and went to their respective places to sleep. It was completely quiet at night, and one could hear nothing except for the palm trees swaying in the wind. Anansi waited for everyone to fall asleep. At midnight, he got up quietly and crawled towards the pots. Anansi had seen Amma fill some pots with the scorpions. He did not touch them and took out food from the rest of the pots. He ate all he could and was very contented. After finishing the food in the kitchen, he started yelling and sucking his hand. The alligator woke up with a noise and asked Anansi if he was comfortable. "Dear brother, the dog fleas are eating me alive. I cannot stay here anymore," Anansi said and left the house immediately. After all, he was scared that the scorpions would escape the pot and bite him at night. Amma was suspicious of Anansi. She checked if all the food in their pots were intact. She was shocked to find that Anansi had eaten up all the eggs that they had stored in the pots. "Daddy, Anansi had eaten all our eggs. Please go and catch him immediately," Amma said to the alligator. The alligator rushed out of his house. While being chased by the alligator, Anansi finally reached the riverbank. Anansi saw a boatman preparing his boat for sailing. "Take me to the other side of the river and I will give you half of my land," Anansi said to the boatman. The boatman agreed at once, and quickly Anansi slipped into his boat. The alligator swam after him but could not catch the boat. Once the boat reached the shore, Anansi asked the boatman to wait and said he was going to speak to his father about the land. The boatman waited patiently. Anansi went to his father and narrated the entire incident to him. He instructed his father to tell the alligator and the boatman that he did not know where he was. Anansi started climbing the nearby tree. After a while, the boatman came to Anansi's father and asked him, "Where is Anansi?" His father answered, "I haven't seen him in days." I have no idea where he might be. A little while later, Anansi saw the big alligator approaching him and climbing another tree. Anansi called out to find out if the alligator could see him. The alligator looked everywhere but could not find him. I will never live in a house again if I can't find you now, the alligator said. He looked and looked but could not find Anansi and started living in the water ever since. This is a Ghanaian folktale. It tells us that before we open our doors to people, we must do our due diligence to be sure they are worth it. Our doors could be friendship, trust, or property. The people we let inside may ruin a loving place we have if we are not careful. Alligator's home is now ruined and he now has to live in rivers now. Subscribe, like, and share for more interesting stories.